Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We are discussing Plato. Since we are continuing with the Western political thoughts, so our first thinker is Plato. This is the fourth lecture related to him. So, in our first lecture, we discussed the basic concepts about Plato. That why Plato is hating democracy, what is the main objective of his philosophy, that was to establish an ideal state, as we discussed. In our second lecture, we discussed about the theory of forms or ideas, and in third lecture we discussed about the theory of justice, and in fourth one we are going to discuss about the theory of education or the scheme of education which was propounded by Plato. So first of all, understand the basic concept behind this theory. So as we discussed, in the theory of justice, according to Plato, justice means working or functioning according to one's naturally dominating trait. If a person has dominant region, he should be the part of the ruler class. If the person have the dominant courage or spirit, then he should be the part of the warrior class. And if the person has the appetite or desire, then he should be the part of the producer class or the working class. But how to identify that in which person which trait is dominating? So education is the means to realize the theory of justice. Without education, you cannot know that in which person which trait is dominant, whether it is reason, whether it is spirit or courage, or whether it is the appetite or desire. So the theory of education is important to realize the theory of justice. The theory of justice is important to establish an ideal state. And theory of education is also important to identify the philosopher king. Through the process of education, the systematic and the progressive scheme of education which has been discussed by Plato, we can identify the philosopher king, our philosopher king who will ultimately establish and rule our ideal state according to Plato. So the theory of education is very much important in this context. So we will see that the Plato's theory of education is the blend of the feature of the Spartan education system and the Athenian education system. Actually, when I discussed about the Peloponnesian War in my first lecture, I told you all that there were two dominant city-state, Greek city-states. Okay, one was Athens, to which Plato belonged, and another one was Sparta. And in Peloponnesian War, the Sparta defeated the Athens, and Plato was not happy with this because his city-state lost the war, defeated in the war, the Peloponnesian War. So he was hating the democracy because he was blaming the democracy that there is the prevalent corruption in the democracy, because of which the Spartan defeated us and Athens lost the war. However, the Plato also liked the few of the characteristic of the Spartan education system. And there were some features of Athenian education system which Plato disliked. So Plato made the synthesis of both. He included all the good features of the Spartan education system which he liked, and he removed all the bad elements of the Athenian education system which he hated or which he disliked. So let us discuss about some feature or characteristics of the Spartan education system which Plato liked. So the first one was that the in Sparta the education was sponsored by state. There was the state sponsored education. The second one was there was the compulsory provision for the military education, that one have to take the military training or the physical education during the course of education. Okay, and the third one is the equality of opportunity to women. There was the equality among men and women. There was no gender inequality, which was the distinct feature of the Spartan education system. However, these good features were not present in Athenian education. For example, in Athens, the education was in the private hand. The sophists which were there were imparting the education, and it was very expensive. The education was very expensive, therefore, only few people of the rich classes were able to take the education. Okay. The second one is the state was negligent about the curriculum or the syllabus which was being taught by the sophist in Athens. In other words, the state was not vigilant about the curriculum which was taught to the people. Okay, and the third one was there was no equality of opportunity for women. So these are the characteristics of the Athenian education system which Plato disliked, and he wanted to remove all these demerits or the evils which was present in the Athenian education system, and he did so when he proposed his theory of education. So there was the synthesis of both the Athenian education system, all the bad elements were removed, and all the good elements of the Spartan education system was encompassed by Plato. Okay. The fourth main problem of Athenian education system was that there was no provision for the compulsory physical education and military training. Okay. And the fifth one is that the Athenian education system was only focusing upon developing the logical and critical faculties of mind. They were only teaching the people mathematics and literature. The Plato was not against the mathematics or literature. However, according to him, the philosophy and art of dialectics should be also given priority. These are also important. So the philosophy was very important for Plato because through philosophy and art of dialectics, one can perceive the ultimate truth. One can know the ultimate truth or the ultimate reality. Okay, one can know about the idea, the forms, which we discussed in the theory of forms, or the ideas which was given by Plato. So to know about the ideal form of something, you need to have the knowledge of the philosophy and the art of dialectics. So these features were missing from the Athenian education system. So as I told you, he combined the both, the merit and demerit. He just took the merit of the Spartan education system and discarded all the demerits of the Athenian education system. And from here we can see the two distinctive features of the Plato's theory of education. The first one was the compulsory state-sponsored education, which everyone has to attend. Okay, so the education become state-sponsored, and the second one is there was equality of opportunity for all citizens. Okay, and there was no discrimination on the basis of birth or gender, and women and girls had the equal opportunity at all the stages. So we are now going to discuss about the stages of education. So Platonian system of education was systematic and progressive. He divided the education in two parts. The first one is the basic education and second one is the higher education. So if we will discuss about the basic education, it was further divided into the three sub-stages. Sub-stage 1, sub-stage 2 and sub-stage 3. So in first sub-stage of the basic education, the children up to age of 6 years were included. They were taught in their mother tongue. Okay, they were taught in their mother tongue, and they were taught through the help of stories and pictures, and the main purpose was to develop the right kind of attitude to their personality. So this was the purpose of the basic education which was taught at the first substage. At second substage, the people from the age of 6 to 18 were included. Okay, and at this stage, the there is the thought or proposal by the Plato to maintain the balance between the the physicality and spirituality. Okay, so according to Plato, at this stage, the people should be taught the music as well as the gymnastic. So the music will be for the spiritual softness and the gymnastic will be for the physical toughness. So both has given the equal importance, and Plato tried to make a balance between the physicality and spirituality. Okay, and along with music and gymnastics, the children will be also taught the history, mathematics, and science according to Plato at this stage. And after the second substage, that means at the age of 18 years, there will be the first screening or first exam which will be conducted. The people who will pass the exam will go for the higher education, means they will go for the third substage of the basic education, and if further they will be eligible, then they will go for the higher education. But the people or the children who will fail at first screening, it will be concluded that in them the desire or appetite is more dominant, and they will fall under the category of the producing class, and they will ultimately become the part of the producing class or the worker class. Okay, so at third sub stage, the people from the age 18 to 20 year will be included, and they will be given the military training. Then there will be the second screening, and if the people will pass the second test which will be conducted, okay, after the third sub stage of the basic education, then they will go for learning the philosophy and becoming the philosopher. Means those who will pass the second screening, it would be concluded that the region is more dominant in their personality or in their soul. However, the people who will fail at second screening, they will become the part of the warrior class, and it would be concluded that the spirit or courage is more dominant in their personality. So this was the whole scheme of the basic education. So if you will realize or observe, then only philosophers are going for the higher education. There is no provision for the higher education for the warrior class, as they were excluded through the second screening, and or the producing class who were excluded through the first screening, as we saw. So when so now we will discuss about the higher education. The higher education is further divided into two subparts, the first and the second one. So the first sub stage of higher education will be from the age of 20 to 35. So in the higher education, all the people with the dominant reason will be included, as I told you. So they will be taught logic, philosophy, and dialectics, because philosophy and dialectics is very important for the Plato. Okay, and at this stage, they will become the true philosophers. At the second screening, it was concluded that they have the dominant reason, but that reason was needed to be polished so that they could become a good philosophers. And at the first sub stage, they will be taught the logic, philosophy, and dialectics, and they will become the true philosophers at this stage. And after they will become the philosophers, still they are not eligible for becoming the philosopher king who will ultimately establish an ideal state and rule the ideal state. So at second sub stage, there will be some kind of internship. So the people who became the philosopher will go for the internship for the 15 year. So they will become the part of the administration. They will become the part of the state, and they will learn how to run the state. Okay. And for the 15 years, they will take the first hand experience. And when they will reach the age of 50 years, they will be ultimately eligible to become the philosopher king. So this was the whole system of education or the scheme of education which was given by Plato. But the big question is, there will be not one person who will be eligible for the higher education. There will be many. Suppose there will be 40 or 50 persons who will be eligible for the higher educations, and they will qualify the first sub-stage as well as the second sub-stage, and at the age of 50, they will be eligible to become the philosopher king at the age of 50. But our question is, how to choose one philosopher king among many? Suppose if there are 40 such people who are eligible for the philosopher king, then how to choose one king? So this is very difficult task, because they will be contending, they will be competing with each other. But this is not the case. What Plato answered for this, that after learning the philosophy and after the education of the 50 years, they will know that power is not that thing for which we should compete. So they will not have the desire for power. They will not have the lust for the materialistic things. They will become reluctant to acquire the power. So Plato says that if there are 40 such persons, so they all will be trying to keep away themselves from becoming the philosopher king. But after requesting, one will become the philosopher king. So there will be no competition among these people to become the philosopher king. Rather, the people or the administration have to request him. Suppose you went to first person and you requested, but at last he refused. Similarly, you will request very kindly to all of them. There will be one person who will become the philosopher king. Okay, so there will be no much difficulty in choosing the philosopher king, because no one would want to become the philosopher king, as they would be reluctant to become the philosopher king, because they lost the lust for the power after such education, after the education of philosophy and the dialectics. They knew that the power is not that thing which we want. Okay, not the ultimate goal of the life. The goal of life is different. They will understand this. So I hope that you understood the concept. If you understood the concept, please give a thumbs up, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to share this with your friends. And my dear students, if you want to support me, you can support me through the Google Pay or through Phone Pay. My number is 7061064881. Also, you can support me by joining my channel. Okay, so kindly join my channel, support me, motivate me. Okay, so I would make more and more videos in future for you, and I would be explaining the concept in the similar way which everyone could understand. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a nice day.